the playing field has changed since you joined MLG way back in the day. But what advice would you have for people?
Honestly, if you're interested in both and therefore your biggest passion is just to get into esports, I would say production, just because there's more opportunity, right? There's not, I mean, if you want to be like the lead producer or, create executive producer of a show, like there's not that many opportunities there. But if you just want to like learn and, eventually maybe do a small project and then see where you can grow from there, production has more opportunities because you can enter at a lower level and still be hands-on, right? Like you can enter as just like an assistant on stage or whatever, or even just backstage and still get to see everything and take it in. Whereas hosting and commentating, you could work your butt off on YouTube and then you could just have some bad luck and never get to go to a live event. So again, if you're interested in both, if you're like, I'm just interested in entertainment and I don't mind seeing as people say, like seeing all the like dirt behind the scenes of just having to work and do all this boring stuff and like you said, work on the tech and connect all these wires. Like if you don't mind that, as if you're the type of person who can be satisfied with like one day and just looking at the one day, the past like 3 months just didn't matter, and you're like, oh, that was satisfying to see that event go off so smoothly, then production for sure. If you're someone who's like, I need the game in my life, right? Like I just need the game all the time, then definitely commentating. Those are the differences. I think commentating, what I will say is, I think people are now starting to see, and same with myself. I only started really feeling the weight and pressure of this in the past, I would say 1 or 2 years. Being in the spotlight is much more than just, it's more than just like your casting, right? And I don't want to talk as if like I know what it's like to be a celebrity, because I don't. But for instance, it's even like Twitter, right? Like we're in a world of social media where people are now starting to realize, like, even if I'm not famous, like what I say online matters. But if you're now on screen for like thousands of people or tens of thousands of people for a video game that's really famous, and video games are now a hot topic, like you just have a lot more weight on your shoulders. And I think the advice I want to give is make sure you have an anchor that you can really go back to, right? Make sure you can always take one step back to something else. It can be a person that you can just really confide in and trust and just hang out and be yourself. Like that's the most important thing. A lot of times, a lot of the friends I've met across commentary, we're all really big introverts, actually. We're not extroverts. And so all of us need somewhere else we can go. Maybe it is just video games, right? Maybe we just need to play like story-based games on our own and kind of cool off. Or maybe, you have a significant other that you can really just be yourself around and be comfortable. Or maybe it's traveling. It doesn't matter what it is. But if say you want to cast League of Legends, and if League of Legends is like your best thing and your favorite thing, the moment that becomes work and the moment that starts adding the social pressure on you, like everything breaks, right? So that's the only thing I will say. Make sure you're constantly looking for an anchor at the same time, so that when you get to a point, hopefully that you're big enough, so to speak, that the pressure starts to get to you, you can also balance it out with whatever else you've had prepared in your, in your life outside of commentating on air. So that's the only big thing. But otherwise, I mean, I would also say don't be afraid to dabble in both if you have the opportunity, right? Like casting and stuff, you can even do for fun with your friends and see if it works for you, right? Like maybe you're like dreaming of it and then you're playing with your friends and you're like, oh, maybe I'll try casting this game, and you try and you're like, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Who knows? These days it's a little bit easier to approach it, at least indirectly, than it was in the past.